How's it going? This is Coach Chris with Strength Faction, and we want to do a quick video for you all today to try and get the wheels turning and thinking about simplifying your approach to program design. So, check out the video, let us know what you think. If you have any questions or if we can be of any service to you whatsoever, don't hesitate to reach out. We would love to help, all right? Enjoy. Maybe you've been in my shoes or at least similar ones. I actually opened my gym, Beyond Strength Performance Nova in Dulles, Virginia, back in October of 2011. And when we started out, I didn't have a ton of clients because we were a true startup. You know, we had a handful of clients, and this allowed us to be in what I refer to as the iPad phase. Because we had so few clients, we didn't really print out papers and have all these really organized systems in place. We got away with a pretty loose system, and it got results, but looking back, well, let me show you. People would come in, they would click on that Notes app right there, and it would open up the iPad, turn it to landscape orientation like there on the left, and their names would come up down the left-hand side. They would click on their name to see their program, and their program would be updated over time. We would put their newest stuff up top so they could scroll down to see what they had done, what weights they used and everything, and it would be updated before they came in every time. As you can imagine, this was quite the process. It was very time-consuming, but again, it worked when we had so few clients. But after quite a few months of this, the gym really picked up. We had too many clients and something had to change. So we went into a phase that I think most of us are in to this day, which is the computer and the printer phase. We would write programs on the computer and we would print them out. The original programs were super basic. Nothing fancy on these. It was their name, what they had on the individual training days, and we used a really basic filing system. Luckily, I still wasn't exactly swamped with members yet because I took forever to write these. I overthought every aspect of the program, which is funny looking back because I look at this program and I'm like, oh, I wouldn't do a lot of the things on here, at least the way that they're laid out. But that's par for the course with our education and personal evolution, right? We're going to look back on things and go, what was I thinking? So anyways, eventually, I wound up with more and more and more members joining the gym, which meant more and more and more time stressing over making the right choices on their programs. Something had to give. I had a degree in kinesiology. I'd attended lots of seminars, read all kinds of resources, and I still found myself with all of this information causing what's referred to as paralysis by analysis. All the information in the world, no solid system, and it just kind of froze me in my tracks. I overanalyzed everything. So eventually, I took a step back and I said, you know what? There's a lot more commonalities than differences in all of these programs that we're writing. We have all these people coming in with unique goals, getting completely individualized programs, but at the end of the day, there's going to be commonalities in what they do. And if we could bring those out and put them into a system, man, that would make our world a whole lot easier. So that's what we did. And to this day, our programs look a lot like this now. It's taken off, but their name's up at the top left, what block they're in, what phase they're in, what their goals are, their FMS concerns are up there, any other concerns we have about the individual on their program. And then we've got the individual training days on there and all the information we could possibly need to have a successful program. There's even a backside to this program with the questionnaire and everything. So, how the hell did we do that, right? Well, we created menus. Much like when you go to a restaurant, there's components to the menu. Here we have the soup, the appetizers and the entree, the main meal, the extras, all these things that come together to create the complete experience for you at that restaurant. Well, we did the same thing with designing programs. We looked at it and we said, what would the program design components be? And if we went from a macro level down to a micro level, we looked at it and we said, well, there's blocks of training, which for us run 16 to 24 weeks. And that's where we're going to try and hit our overall goal. Maybe not like our lifetime goal, what we really want, but our big goals that we're going to try and accomplish over 16 to 24 weeks. Those blocks are going to be broken down into phases of 4 to 6 weeks. Each of those phases will have an emphasis. Think short-term goals that are made by chunking down our overall goal that's defined in our big block. Then we've got our rep ranges that make up our phases. And those rep ranges are going to break down into power rep ranges, strength rep ranges, assistance rep ranges. And I have conditioning there in parentheses because it's not exactly rep ranges for conditioning, but more so what energy systems are we working on and what type of protocols make sense for what we're trying to get after, and can we put that stuff into a system? And then going further, what type of loading would we use in terms of not weights, but like, are we doing straight sets, clusters? Are we messing with tempo, complexes, chains, densities? Let's get all those things down on paper that we'd use. And then finally, on the more micro level, where most people are at now, I'm willing to bet you probably have a system of the movements that you use, right? Think Dan John, push, pull, squat, hinge, carry, everything else. I've got a few other things here, core, mobility, stability, right? But most of us have that stuff down really well, and I always did from the beginning because that's where we feel like we need to entertain our clients, right? I got the coolest exercises in the world, and I'm going to kick your butt with them. Well, we got to go back and we've got to get this macro stuff into some solid systems to relieve ourselves of the stress of writing programs. When you get this stuff on paper, it's out of this world how much you can free up your plate, right? So we teach you this stuff over 4 months in Strength Faction along with loads of other headache-saving information. But it's not all about just reading lessons and watching videos. Because remember, I did that and I wound up with that paralysis by analysis. The way that we do it, we're going to have you read it. You're going to hear it, whether that's through videos that we do or taking part in our Q&As. You're going to experience it through the program that you'll actually take part in Strength Faction. Then you're going to apply it as you write programs for your clients. Then if you do what we recommend, you're going to go back, you're going to reread it, you're going to rehear it by continuing to ask more questions, maybe go back and re-listen to the Q&As in the archives. You'll continue to experience it as our program designs that you're taking, evolves, that you're taking part in across the 4 months. And then over time, you're going to tweak it to become your own, right? Because we don't want you to just take our systems and be like, this is how you do it. No, you got to find your why. What are your systems that make sense for your situation? And that's what we're here to help you do. Tweak it to become your own. So with all of this, though, something really cool happens. We recently asked the current members of Strength Faction, what has Strength Faction done for you? And this program design stuff kept on coming up. Erica said, program writing used to take me hours because I'd be trying to write the perfect program each time, and it was so frustrating. But you guys gave me a different perspective on all of that. I love the programming lessons. She goes on to say some more. Then we've got Eric Yavron. I was always trying to do way too much at one time. Start a different type of training every few weeks, trying to read 4 different books at once. I beat myself up when I felt I wasn't where I needed to be, etc. You guys have taught me I can't reach all my goals in one day. Make small strides every day and build that momentum. That's been huge for me. With programming, great reminder to have rationale behind all decisions, but keep it simple and be a great coach. Joe Gambino. I think the big thing for me was that the program is not life or death, meaning that just because it's on paper and ink, doesn't mean you got to follow that. You have to do that number of sets for that many reps, and it's got to be the movements that it says there. No. He says, it was great to hear from Todd, Chris, and Mike on how to manage and modify my program to have success with my injuries. I do a lot of group training, so this has been clutch to manage programs better and create monsters. Thanks, fellas, and I second Frank's comment. Frank's comment was about that we push them to get going on a dream that they have, and they're doing it, and it's going absolutely awesome. And finally, Halen Alpert. Feeling strong is the best feeling. I feel strong and typically only get 3 to 4 days in per week. This means that the program works, and it has proven to me the power of a relatively simple program based on solid principles. I have changed my programming for my clients as a direct result of this. It has solved my professional development thirst. My professional endeavors had been suffering, and I feel like I get nearly all of the professional development stuff my little brain can handle right here. The systems that you use and share with us have given me a protocol I can follow to train and teach the coaches I work with, so it's made me a better businessman and leader of my tribe. Thank you. So again, we just want to get the wheels turning. Can you create better systems to take some stress away, to write consistently better programs for your clients? All right? We'll talk soon.